Of course, this video is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. I've used a ton of their products. They've sent me almost everything that they have. It's all fantastic right now. Of course, special deal for all the 49er Report watchers. Manscaped.com/49ers. 20% off plus free shipping on your entire order right now. Link is always down below in the description box. Okay, as we always do, the news and rumors of the day here regarding the 49ers here at training camp. And the first one is actually very interesting to me overall, and that has to do with the number 2 cornerback battles. As you see on your screen right here, we're talking about Jason Verrett, who, you gotta remember, is kind of a lost name last year. Hardly got onto the football field. We all know Richard Sherman is a lock as cornerback number 1. I keep saying Emmanuel Moseley is a lock to be cornerback number 2, and yet here we are every single day so far this week in training camp. Jason Verrett has been the starting number 2 cornerback. He's gotten all of the 1 reps, and Robert Saleh has gone as far as declaring in an open competition at cornerback number 2 spot. This is a massive surprise for me, and this is some of the fun that we get during training camp, the surprises that we have. I want to kind of break this down for you guys here, but first, here was Robert Saleh a couple of days ago in the typical, COVID-19 Zoom interview. When asked about the number 2 cornerback spot, he said, quote, "Obviously, we'd like to see a competition over there. It's wide open if you want to call it that." Okay, so why would Verrett be starting at cornerback number 2, be a starting cornerback right now? And we've all said that it should be Emmanuel Moseley as the starting number 2 cornerback, because Moseley, of course, played the most last year. The simple answer is either Verrett's playing very, very well, or Moseley and Witherspoon are not playing well at all, right? So it's one of the two, and it could be a combination of both. I'm sure they will eventually rotate Emmanuel Moseley in there and Ahkello Witherspoon in there, but it is fascinating to me that they would go ahead and start Jason Verrett, a guy, again, who has shown some promise in his career. He's got some decent stats overall in 2019, in his overall career, 5 interceptions in 26 games, 80 tackles. Maybe they're trying to get somebody to go after the football, be more of a football hunter overall, the number 2 cornerback spot. But it just doesn't make a lot of sense when you had a guy like Emmanuel Moseley who took over for Ahkello Witherspoon last year. He played essentially 9 games, including every single postseason start, and was pretty good. Now, was he, perfect? Is he the best number 2 cornerback in the National Football? No, obviously he's not, but he played very, very well. They haven't really asked why Moseley has not started there at training camp, but right now, apparently it's an open cornerback battle. Apparently Jason Verrett, at 28 years old at TCU, he's the one who's been filling in as the number 2 corner. And unless it's going to change, it looks like Verrett is going to be that guy for the foreseeable future. This right here is where not having preseason games tends to kind of hurt the younger players in all the position battles, right? Because sure, you can see Jason Verrett and Ahkello Witherspoon and Emmanuel Moseley all 1-on-1s and 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. But it'd be nice to see these guys out there against actual competition, against other teams practicing and playing. That way, the fans and then everyone else could figure out what is going on and who will start at cornerback number 2. Now, rest assured, they will obviously put the best player there opposite of Richard Sherman. But it's just interesting that Verrett has kind of walked his way into a starting cornerback spot so far at training camp. Who do you guys think will start at cornerback number 2? Let me know right now. This is fascinating. Type V down below for Verrett. Type M down below for Moseley. Type W down below for Ahkello Witherspoon. I would still say it's going to be Emmanuel Moseley. I've said that all offseason, but maybe I'm wrong. Listen, I'm not 100% right, even though I like to think that I am. But still, I wanted to start with that because it is a very interesting development going on right now in San Francisco in 49ers camp, and that's why you watch. You want the latest news, right? Before we go on to the injury news of the day, and it feels like every single day we have more and more injury news. Of course, this video is brought to you by Manscaped and manscaped.com/49ers. One of our favorite sponsors here in terms of the Lawnmower 3.0. This thing is absolutely fantastic. They sent me one. I use it almost every single week. The kicker here is the blade guard, right? So it's not going to cut you whenever you are trimming the hairs on your body. It's absolutely fantastic. And right now, again, my manscaped.com/49ers, 20% off plus free shipping. You would pick that thing up right there to my, to my right. Trust me, again, it uses it every single week. You're not going to cut yourself, and that's key when you're manscaping yourself. Manscaped.com/49ers, 20% off your first order plus free shipping. Link is all down below in the description box. All right, well, that's the good news. The bad news is that injuries continue to pile up for San Francisco, and it just keeps getting worse. It's amazing how many injuries are happening right now. K'Waun Williams, today, officially out for the next couple of weeks. He left practice yesterday with a leg injury. He's been diagnosed with a calf strain. It's not serious, but he still is going to go ahead and miss most of training camp, probably the next couple of weeks here, and it'll be the next man up again. And the 49ers have been suffering a ridiculous amount of injuries so far. It's like, slow down, guys. We got to wrap these guys in bubble wrap. It's just getting frustrating, right? Now, again, thankfully, this is not a Jalen Hurd, blown out ACL type scenario done for the year. And K'Wan Williams, we'll talk about, is very important. But it is a grade 1 calf strain, as we have the tweet here from Tom Pelissero. Leak from the NFL Network said, quote, an MRI showed 49ers cornerback K'Wan Williams has a grade 1 calf strain. Source said they'll take it slow, but good news is for Williams, an important player on the defense the past 3 seasons who's in a contract year. And he's absolutely right. He's an extremely important player because he is the nickel cornerback and really the only true nickel cornerback on the entire 49ers roster. Now, there are a lot of people you could throw in there. Technically, Verrett has played some nickel cornerback. They went out and signed a safety we'll talk about in a second. He can play nickel cornerback. But in reality, K'Wan Williams is their true number 1 nickel cornerback. And it's been absolutely fantastic. He's very underrated. 51 tackles last year, 2 interceptions, and he's the guy running around in the slot trying to find the mismatches, or at least try to find the mismatches on, and has been, honestly, a very bright spot on the 49ers defense. So, again, he'll be there for week 1. No worries there, but these injuries just keep piling up. Look at the current list of injured 49ers. Richie James has the wrist. K'Wan Williams has the calf. Deebo Samuel has the foot. Eric Armstead has the back, and Jalen Hurd, of course, on IR with the ACL. Armstead apparently was back on the sideline at practice today. A little side note, he's going to be okay. But this is a very long list for a team that has not been back at training camp for like a week and a half. Slow down, guys. Take it easy. No more injuries, please, right? Everyone calm down. No more injuries. Now, with this, obviously, you got to go ahead and fill in some more bodies. They've been signing people left and right off the street. Jonathan Cyprien is one of the guys they went ahead and got right now. He's bounced around. He was on the Eagles for a little bit. He bounced around from right where he was before that, but he's not exactly been a stud in the National Football League. Tennessee's another place that he's been. Obviously, the age of 29. The good news here is that he's a hybrid guy. He can play both the safety and the nickel slot position. So this is clearly a fill-in for K'Wan Williams' situation. Will he actually make the final roster? Probably not. But then again, if let's just say the grade 1 calf strain with Williams takes a little bit longer, then maybe he could play a couple of football games because he does have some NFL experience. But as you see the stats down there, he's not done. He didn't do a lot in 2019. Only 2 tackles and 0 interceptions. So it's not the worst injury news today. That was, saved early in the week for Jalen Hurd. But still, it's tough. Drop a like right now to wish these guys a healthy camp. We can't be seeing any more injuries. Give this video a thumbs up right now to wish the 49ers a healthy, a safe camp. Give it a thumbs up if you just want to wrap them all in bubble wrap, right? And just be like, all right, go practice in your little bubble wrap bubble. Stay safe out there. Goodness gracious. If there are any more serious injuries, it's not going to be good. Telling you right now, it's not going to be good overall, and this is another one to add to the growing list of 49ers who are down for the count. Okay, moving on here. I just got this package in the mail. Literally, I just got this package in the mail. The Shears 2.0 from Manscaped, obviously manscaped.com/49ers. It's this entire pack right here. So they got tweezers, they got scissors, they got obviously the fingernail clippers. Absolutely fantastic. It's a great little addition to your guys' travel bag as well. You guys can put it on a plane, carry it, and travel with it as you normally would. Fantastic. You can find it in the description box chat or manscaped.com/49ers. 20% off plus free shipping. Okay. You want some good news? Like some actual good news from training camp and not, people are struggling or they're injured. Dante Pettis has been showing out so far in training camp from everything I've seen and everything that I've read. And this blows me away, right? I mean, people were talking about Dante Pettis being in a camp cut casualty, right? I mean, as early as this offseason, I even said, how is Pettis going to make this roster? Well, it was a next man up scenario, obviously with Deebo and Richie James Jr. getting injured. And so Pettis has gotten a lot more reps with the ones. He's fighting for his life in terms of making the roster. And Jimmy Garoppolo has been, 1, getting him the football, and 2, been very impressed so far with what he has seen from Dante Pettis. It's early, but I think so far Dante Pettis is a lot to make this roster. And it's a combination of obviously injuries, but he's playing very, very well. And the hope is he's going to turn out to be the really good receiver that they drafted him to be just a couple of years ago. I'm going to give you the Jimmy Garoppolo quote here in just 1 second, but this is why you need to be subscribed to the 49ers Report. We just hit 27,000 subs. I would love to be at 30K by the start of the NFL season because you get nonstop coverage, right? I mean, there are other channels and there's other news outlets and stuff like that, but we do 49ers 24/7. Basically 365. We're always covering them, the latest news, everything here. Hit that big red subscribe button down below. Let's get to 30K, right? NFL season, less than 25 days away. Come on, we can do this, right? All right, so here's what I'm talking about in terms of Jimmy Garoppolo. I was really in love with what he's seen from Dante Pettis. Quote, he's been coming along. very encouraging. Just the physicality he's playing with and the competitiveness he brings. You love to see it. Whether it's Dante or all the receivers, they're battling their butts off in camp, and it's been impressive so far. And this is a guy, again, the forgotten member of the 49ers last year, the guy who fell out of grace with head coach Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan, very clearly did not want Dante Pettis on the football field last year, and it shows. 11 catches, 2 touchdowns for 109 yards. Sure, there was a game winner mixed in there against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it would just be nice for the third-year player to go ahead and actually live up to his potential. We don't need 80 catches and 1,000 yards. Give us like 40 catches for 500 yards, a couple of touchdowns. That make a lot of 49er fans happy. But at least so far, he's looked pretty good. And with the injury to Deebo Samuel, obviously probably out for the first couple of weeks, and Richie James Jr., Pettis can return kicks, and hopefully he can get on the football field at a starting wide receiver position and play to the ability that we all hope they would eventually do. How many receiving yards for Dante Pettis in 2020? Let me know down below right now in the chat. I think over-under is 200. I would hope best case scenario would be 500. But, 300, he had 100 yards last year. Anything's better than 100 yards last season. Dante, get on the football field. Don't tick people off, right? Piss Kyle Shanahan off because of how bad he was in practice in the preseason. Figure it out. Play better. So far, so good with Dante Pettis. I think that's absolutely fantastic news. He has all the skill to be a great receiver. He has this, great size, 6'1", 195 pounds, obviously coming out of Washington. Great age in terms of still being young. He just has to just get in there, figure things out, and so far, so good. He looks like he had a good offseason. We'll hold our judgment for the remainder of training camp, but we're hearing great things coming from everyone who's there and all the film that I've watched that Dante Pettis has been showing out at 49ers training camp.